Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations, how's everybody doing? Let's look at 2 episodes of Star Trek Voyager, the episode Coda and Blood Fever. Let's look at Coda first. What happened in this episode? Well, in this episode, Chakotay and the captain and Janeway end up going to on a bit of a journey to a planet in which she ends up getting hurt. So during the episode, she ends up coming back as a ghost and is trying to make contact with the rest of the crew. Honestly, I thought this was a really good episode. I really liked it. I like the idea of, I think this idea's been done before in many television shows. Say a member of a crew or someone getting hurt on the job, and then, someone, say, seeing how everyone reacts to it, their reactions, and then in a way, say, okay, they try to change it, but in a way, it keeps on looping them back and forth to that situation until, they're out of it. And I say kind of like the idea, the fact, okay, the, one who is trying to say, okay, now we can cross over, is supposed to be a representation of Janeway's father.
Why not let me come to the decision on my own?
I'm trying to spare you unnecessary pain.
My father would never act like this. He always believed I had to learn my own lessons, make my own mistakes. He never tried to shield me from life. Why would he try to shield me from death? You're not my father. I could be imagining you, but I don't think so.
I kind of think that's an interesting concept, using the presence of someone, the idea, look of someone that you know fairly well, that you are comfortable around, to have a sense of, okay, let's talk to this person, and, things should be kosher and all that. So, yeah, eventually, Janeway goes, say, you are not my father, you are not, and eventually she goes, say, and then the crew is able to wake her up on the planet, and all that. So I thought this one was pretty good. What happened in the episode, Blood Fever? In this episode, B'Elanna ends up getting, the spread of the farr by the vulcan is saying Vorik, and in a way she and him, he tries to in a way bond with her, and she goes so no, get away from me, weirdo. And eventually she ends up also getting a Vulcan version of the farr, which is basically the Vulcans way of saying, I need to mate with someone, and if not, the other thing I have to do is fight someone in battle because they have a sense of bloodlust, and all that. Yeah, I thought this one was pretty good.
B'Elanna, you may wish to reconsider. Your choices for a mate are currently limited to 73 male crew members on this ship, some of whom are already unavailable.
I'll worry about my choices myself, thank you.
I should also remind you that many humanoid species are unable to withstand Klingon mating practices.
Okay, that's enough.
Whereas my superior Vulcan strength would make me a very suitable partner.
I kind of like that, the fact that we had the return of the idea of the farr. In a way, the fact they say, okay, another race of aliens can be affected by it. I'm like, okay, that's something that's fairly interesting. At first I thought, okay, the idea of the character of Insing Vorik, I thought, okay, by like, like today's perspective, it's like, the Panfar, like, like from like in this episode, it comes off as a bit like, say, a character who is a bit possessive in a way. Like, he goes like, say, you and I will mate and all that, and she's like, say, we don't have a choice and all that. There's a sequence where I kind of thought was kind of funny, like, he is going to say, I shall not talk to you, doctor. Because, like, he's just like, it is not logical to talk about feelings and all that. So when she ends up having the doctor goes like, say, what to do? Let's go to the holosuite. So in the episode, like I said, how about you talk to this nice, lovely, Vulcan woman? And, like, you know what you're expecting. I think they bang. So, even as the episode goes on, like, say, B'Elanna, she is going, like, say, crazed from all of it. Like, she attacks, Tom Paris, and eventually, like, they are trying to get out of this, underground part of a plant they end up finding, and eventually, like, say, okay, she is so full of frustration, in a way. But one thing I thought was pretty cool, though, is, like, the way she is able to get rid of her bloodlust is by, like, what ends up happening is, after, like, like, she, like, her and Tom, the idea of, like, say, having, a sexual relationship overcomes them, and eventually, the instinct comes back and goes, like, say, no, not with him.
You are my mate, not his.
What are you doing here?
I come to claim you, to fulfill our bond, and if necessary, to face my rival, Lieutenant Tuvok.
And all that, and eventually he goes, like, say, I challenge you to fight, Tom Paris. But eventually goes, like, say, well, I guess, like, say, no. I get to decide what happens to May. And she ends up beating his ass.
Finish him!
And all that. Yeah, I thought this episode was pretty good. Eventually they're able to get rid of, Panfar from both, characters and all that. Honestly, one thing I kind of would like to see, I would like to see a Vulcan-based show, like, with the idea of the Panfar, like, say, like during a time frame, like, when Vulcans are, like, say, must not succumb to it, and then away, like, like, say, there's a time of violence and unrest, because folks aren't succumbing to their urges or something like that. So, yeah, I thought these two episodes were pretty good.